Nevertheless, it's the Tuesday show.
How's everybody going? I'm James Chen, and yep, that's right. We haven't had a Tuesday show in quite some time.
Over 2 weeks.
Over 2 weeks, but we've been busy. Well, you've been busy in particular.
Well, the first part was because we were both going to CEO.
Yeah,
Right? Or we just come back. Wait, what was this?
We came back, but then it was the 4th of July.
It was the 4th of July.
Couldn't do
That's
the 4th
right.
of July stuff,
Yeah.
so...
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
So anyway, then I was gone for Viennality, which was in Vienna, Austria, and I flew back on Tuesday.
Right. Because did you purposely stay an extra day to check it out?
Not exactly. My only flight options back were to leave from my connecting city, which was Warsaw, on Tuesday. So I could have flown from Vienna to Warsaw on Monday,
yeah, and then
but then
stayed there.
I'm in the airport for like 12 hours.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I just figured I'll just,
Stay in Vienna.
get up super early Tuesday morning in Vienna and fly to Warsaw and then get the connecting flight.
Right. So just had to stay in
So I
Vienna.
had to stay in Vienna.
God, you're gonna have to explore this awesome European city.
It was pretty great. I'll talk about that when we talk about Viennality. Curly W points out that in fact it was July 3rd. That's true, but in the little town that I come from,
That's right,
July 3rd
yeah.
is the day that we celebrate it. True story. Basically, the surrounding area is full of bigger cities, and all of their 4th of July.
Fireworks shows.
So there's lots of fireworks shows, right? So my little town decided that they would have their celebration on the 3rd. That way, anybody
would
would
show
come,
up.
right? And so now it's become, little city's grown, it's not as small anymore, and people also come from the surrounding cities. So July 3rd is like the party day for us. So I always drive back home and go check it out and hang out. I didn't even go to July 4th fireworks because from where I live, in an apartment in Hollywood, you can just see dozens of fireworks going off all across the LA basin.
Yeah,
So
I can
it's
do
pretty
the
cool,
same thing
actually.
from my roof as well.
There you go. It's cool.
Because you can see Santa Monica, you can see the LA area, you can see the Marina Del Rey area. I went upstairs, I saw like one firework, and then I walked back downstairs. I was like, all right, I saw one.
That's funny.
I'm good enough. So,
Cats were okay?
my cats were okay. Yes, my cats did not get bothered by anything. So, but it also helped that they were chilling with me the whole time down there.
For
so.
sure. Yeah. We hopped our one cat up on Kitty Xanax. And then we hung out with her.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because last time she was basically turned off for like 2 weeks. She hid for like 2 weeks afterward.
Dang.
She really affected her, so we made it work.
Got it.
All right, anyway.
Kitty Xanax.
I don't remember what the exact medication is called, but that's the idea of it.
Man, okay.
She was fine. Anyway, so we're going to talk about these topics. CEO 2018 happened. We'll talk about results and etc. We also talk about other results that have happened since we were last on the air. Viennality, Sonic Boom,
Right.
Abigail
There was
Cup.
a lot of stuff going on.
Bunch of stuff occurred.
FGC News right here is going to entail a crap ton of stuff. A lot of tournament announcements. EVO is right around the corner, so there's been a lot of EVO announcements as well.
For sure. And we're going to get to our 50-50 matchup where we discuss violently, meanly. We're going to be talking about
Angrily, yeah.
presentation in fighting games and whether zoning is boring and hateful. And
do some E-League picks as well.
Yeah, make our picks for E-League.
Yeah, exactly. So.
All right. Canada celebrates July 4th on Canada Day, which is not July 4th. It's July 1st because that's my birthday, and I know it.
Well, what does he mean by June
don't know what
3rd
that
then?
means.
Okay. They call it
Whatever.
Boxing Day?
No, it's something else entirely. All right,
Yeah, that's the day that you go and use Balrog and beat people up online,
Okay.
right?
All right. Cool. Let's talk about CEO.
Yes.
So CEO occurred a week and a half ago, I guess longer than that at this point, and it was good. I mean, so before we get into the actual
results.
tournament
Yeah,
results, let's talk about the thing in general. So here's our experience coming into Daytona, right? We park our car in the little offsite parking. We're walking up to the hotel. And what happens but some buttholes lean out of their car and flip us off and they say, "Fuck you," as they're driving by.
And the crazy thing about it
Welcome
was,
to Daytona.
I was the only ethnic person in our group.
Yeah.
Like everybody else was white, so I don't, like they might have just been targeting me.
Well, that definitely could be. Yeah.
They could have just been targeting me.
That could be.
So, but yeah, I mean, to be fair, that was probably the worst. I got it at least this week. I don't know if you experienced anything else.
Yeah. So what James is addressing is, I'm sure everybody's heard about. There were. It's a racist little town. It's very bigoted, and there were attacks. In some cases, physical, not like as far as I know, punching, but like ice thrown and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And on top of that, there were lots of stares, and there were words said, and there were Confederate items for sale in public, right next
to American flag stuff.
Right next to American flag stuff. So it was a very weird little place. I didn't really. I mean, I'm just a white guy walking around. But when I was going to dinner with Skisonic, I remember thinking, like, man, people are being weird. They're like looking at us weirdly constantly.
Oh.
I don't know. I mean, we're clearly not from there, so maybe that's part of why. I mean, I don't know if it was because of racism, but you know.
Yeah, but definitely a lot of people did experience a lot of stuff, a lot of things going on there. You know, some of the transgender folks in the FGC were definitely experiencing. I've heard various reports from people saying that it was like, if it's in Daytona again next year, I'm not going back. You know, like they were like, CEO was a great event, but I cannot go back to the city because of some of the things that they experienced. Now, you know, we'll probably talk about this a little bit later on, or we could just talk about it now. Jebailey is working directly with the city and just had an update like earlier today saying that he is making progress on actually figuring out a way to make the city a little bit safer and more welcoming. He's working directly with like the Daytona government.
The actual city government.
Yeah, the actual city government to try to improve things around there. I don't know how that's going to, you know, because that's a tough thing to do.
Sure. That's a long time thing that's been in society, and it's hard to get rid of course.
But Jebailey could go in there Hager style and just be like, and then just like pile drive people. That would be amazing.
Oh my God.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. I also read a tweet from somebody who I think was replying to Jebailey's tweet, if I recall correctly. I read it somewhere in any case, where they said that reports of, you know, bigotry and attacks have been in the local Daytona newspaper 3 times since CEO.
Oh, really?
That it's been a big enough issue that the city itself, it's sort of not just the mayor and whatever the office is, but the newspaper has been covering it as like, this is bad.
Right.
So, you know, I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting situation, obviously, with the current climate in our country and everything like that. It could go 2 ways, right? It could get better or it could get worse.
Yeah.
Theoretically, you know, so, but, you know, like I said.
I'm not sure about that arc of justice, or arc of history bending towards justice always. It doesn't always seem to work like that.
Right, so, but, I mean, the nice thing about it is that Jebailey is trying to address it.
Yeah.
You know, he did say, you know, right afterwards, he's like, look, I've signed a multi-year deal with this place. I have to do it for multiple years, so I'm going to do what I can to fix it. But we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm sure some players will stand by their guns and not go, but I hope that doesn't discourage a lot of people from trying to check it out, because the tournament itself was pretty amazing, actually.
Yeah, I think by everybody's estimate, everybody I've talked with and even seen posts from, everybody loved the event itself. I certainly did. Walking around Daytona is a sort of separate issue. Obviously, it's much more in your face for some folks than for others, so I can kind of walk around. But the actual event itself, awesome. I mean, really, it was great. I loved everything about it.
It felt like a big event.
It definitely felt like a big event.
There was something about the air there that felt special.
Totally, and sometimes it seems to me that when events go into big convention halls, that they kind of lose like a feel to it. It just becomes very impersonal. But I didn't really feel that way about CEO this year. I'm not sure exactly why that is, but I didn't get that feeling. So there was the Convention Center Hall, which is where the first 2 days mostly took place. There was the arena, where the finals all took place. And there was also Jebailey Land, which is this big arcade that they did a really nice job in.
Jebailey Land was sick. So my only major complaint about CEO 2018, and if this is my number one complaint about it, then you know they did a good job.
Okay.
Was just that Jubaland was too far of a walk from the actual venue.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you literally had to go around the entire building.
That's true. It was a big building.
Yeah, and it's kind of an because think about it. Basically, the giant arena's in the middle.
Right.
And you are here, and then in order to go to Jubaland, you had to walk this way, this way, this way. You couldn't even go this way.
No.
You had to go all the way around that way.
Yeah.
But literally,
It's probably a good quarter-mile walk. I mean, it was significant.
It was a decent walk.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, if that's my biggest complaint, you know, because for me, I'm biased because obviously we're commentators, and so I'm like, I got a 2-hour break. I want to go play some ST. And you get over there, yeah, I know, right? But outside of that, like, the wrestling thing that went with the tournament was really, really cool. And they're also starting something too that I feel like that I'm hoping more events start to do as well. I know Evo's been doing this for years, but hasn't really quite nailed it down yet, which is the Saturday finals.
Sure.
Right? So CEO had a bunch of Saturday finals, and they put them in the arena. And so even though the games had their top 8s on Saturday, they still got to do the intros, they still got to have the stage and everything like that. And really, honestly, Saturday is prime time, right? I mean, like Sunday,
well,
if you run into like 1:30 a.m. or something like that, people are going to go to sleep on you know, because they got to work the next day.
Fair enough. But while I really like that the Saturday games still got to be in the arena and stuff, that's great. At the same time, I think 2,500 people watched Injustice Top 8. That was the highest.
Okay.
I mean,
you mean in the audience or on the stream?
On stream.
Really?
Yes. Almost nobody watched it, and that's because at the same time, Street Fighter stuff was going on, and you know, like, all these other streams were still happening. I don't know really how to fix that. I feel like they did probably as well as they could have, honestly, but. That is the downside to it, that it means that only the very dedicated for whatever the particular game is will watch, rather than spreading it around. So, okay, talking a little bit about the non-tournament aspect of it. I love the wrestling. I got to tell you, I've never been to a wrestling event. I haven't watched wrestling at all since the 90s, and I went into this with a very just open mind, not really knowing what to expect at all. I didn't have an expectation one way or the other, really. But it was fun, and it was funny, and exciting, and it was really nice to have Ski Sonic there with us, because he knows a lot about it. So he was like explaining like all the little backstories that actually really added to my experience.
Yeah. No, it's funny because like you know, two things, right? Like one, I even heard like for an NJPW show, it was still even kind of minor, like compared to regular ones, but we still had a great time, right? And two, like legit, the two of us walked in there where we like, let's watch one match or two matches, then let's go grab some dinner, right?
That was our plan.
And then we were sitting there watching, and we were like, want to just stay for the whole thing? Okay, yeah, let's do that. And we went and bought hot dogs, and then that was about it right there. And because we really wanted to stay. And, you know, after watching even just a couple of the original Dark matches, which, of course, one of them was a problem, but, you know, that's a whole different story.
Well, okay, let's talk about it. So it turned out that in the Dark match, or one of the Dark
matches?
Yeah,
the first Dark match, The
first one.
The two wrestlers who were involved in there were two people who helped put together the ring, you know, and so they were kind of like, oh, we're fans, we want to do wrestling kind of thing, and they had background in it, so they let them do it. And then apparently it turns out that they both have really bad criminal histories of like domestic abuse and stuff like that. So
and I just think it's very fitting that like the town is such a butthole that if you ask for like two random wrestlers and you get two people with these terrible backgrounds, just happen to be.
Oh man,
that's definitely a big bummer.
Yeah, Dan wasn't happy about that either.
Dan was not happy about that either.
But I mean, unfortunately, Kenny Omega took a lot of flack for that and everything, and to the point where I think the next day he was also so on edge that we scared him to death.
You think I was part of it?
I'm pretty sure that was, because he was already probably feeling kind of bad about
Maybe
everything.
So. I never thought about that.
But so on Saturday, there was one point where we were doing commentary and our block was over, but they told us stay on there and we'll have Kenny and Logan kick you guys off.
Yeah.
And so we're like, okay, so when that happens, we'll try to act as indignant as possible and angry as possible.
Yeah, get some wrestling banter.
Yeah. And then when Kenny Omega came up and was like, all right, guys, get off and everything. And I was just like, what? Like, I tried to look as, like, confused and angry as possible.
Yeah.
And then he got, like, a little confused. He was like, wait, is this okay? And then you were like, no.
I had the I don't even think I can do that now.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not sure how that accidentally came out. But somehow I had the most serious face and in the most serious voice, more than if I was serious.
Right, yeah.
I was like, no.
Right.
And just cut it off.
Right.
And
he
was, you know.
And not only that, but
he looked sad.
Apparently everyone on the stream chat was mad. We got a bunch of tweets from people who were like, that was so rude. I can't believe they kicked you guys off. And we had to respond to people like, no, it was planned.
I appreciate the sentiment. That's very nice of you all to be concerned, but that's definitely our bad. Definitely our bad. So.
Oh, man.
Anything else to say about the event otherwise? So in terms of the wrestling, I mean, it was really fun to watch Alex do the stuff in particular. He's hurt for real.
We all thought he was making it up.
We were like yelling at it. We were yelling at it was a work while we were in the audience. But no, I thought that was really fun, and it's really important to him. And
you could tell,
for sure. So I'm happy for him that it ended up going really well. And I told him. I told him to remember that you are mortal always, and he was the next day he came up to me and he was like, I didn't get that reference. It was a tweet that I had made.
Oh, okay.
And that reference is to the fact that in ancient Rome, when a general won a major campaign, he would go home to Rome and have a giant parade that was called a triumph. And so it's everybody in Rome is cheering for this one person, and it's like the biggest moment of your life. So in order for you to not get too big of a head, they have a slave who is right behind you, whispering to you constantly, remember that you are mortal.
Are you serious?
Yeah, seriously.
This is the thing.
They really did that.
Holy crap, so I had no idea.
That was definitely Jabali's triumph, I thought. So
yeah, for sure.
It was really cool.
Oh, dang, okay.
Deep lore, aka history.
But I mean, I thought the wrestling was super cool.
It was
like
fun.
when you sit there and watch it, like I could tell even from watching TV and seeing all the clips that end up on my timeline whenever a wrestling event comes in, that these guys are super athletic, and the stuff that they do is just like is stupid, right? But to actually see it happening in front of you when Kenny Omega's getting pile drive by two people onto the ramp. It's not even the springy mat.
It doesn't look comfortable.
Yeah, and I don't know, just like seeing the guys jump around, dude, it's pretty crazy.
It was a lot of fun, yeah. There was a guy who was like farting on people, I guess, is his shtick.
Yeah.
Butt attacks.
The butt attack, yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
It's good stuff.
I really enjoyed a lot of the intros.
Yeah,
I thought some of them were really good, especially on the finals day. I feel like as the event went on, people saw other people's intros and were like, I got to do better than that. And so as the tournament weekend went on, they got better and better.
Yeah. And yes, Curly W is correct. The reason why Jabali was injured was because he was doing the Jafali kick from dive kick. He was trying to do the drop kick off the ropes, and doing so, he landed badly and injured himself, and that's what happened. And when I saw on his tweet that he got injured on a freak accident, that's the first thing I thought was like, he probably injured himself trying to do wrestling stuff.
That's hilarious.
Because I knew, that's why when he showed up, I just tweeted, I was like, of course Jabali was going to put himself in a match.
That's very funny. Yeah, for sure. There was no doubt in my mind.
Right.
Yes, there were people who were wrestling fans there who were not there for the fighting games. We were seated in front of and behind some people who were exactly that.
Yeah,
so,
clearly they're not for fighting games at all. So yeah, it was actually really cool. It was actually really cool. So and then I actually got to go back and watch some of the top 8s, and I got to see some of the intros. And yeah, the Timo intro, the Chaozu intro, and shout outs to Kazunoko for going along with that.
Great.
And
he did a really good job.
Yeah, because he went into the Yamcha pose and it worked. It was so perfect, dude. And shout outs to the production team too, because they had the overhead camera to even shoot Kazunoko from that angle. Dude, that backstage production area was ridiculous.
That was super legit.
Dude, I was sitting back there, and then it was one of the first times that I was actually sitting there and listening to them talking, and then they were just like, all right, in 3 seconds we'll go to this, and okay, do this, and I'll switch to this. And like, it was like, I was just sitting there listening to it, and I was like, Oh, this is legit.
Dude, the Tenno team, they have invested a lot, you could tell.
Yeah,
a lot of time and effort and definitely dollars into their equipment.
Yeah, this is not just dude sitting on XSplit going, click on this.
No,
click
they got
on
a
this
whole
camera
thing.
angle. Click on. No, it is a good stuff, dude. They are doing some great work. So.
Well,
Yeah, but the matches themselves, I mean,
The
very,
tournament
very
itself?
good. The tournament itself,
Lot of
very,
good
very
stuff.
good. A lot of good stuff. I actually went back and watched a bunch of top 8s because I missed a lot of
I
them.
did that too,
So,
yeah.
Dude, I saw you tweeted you saw all of them.
I didn't see all of them.
Oh, okay. Because I saw you tweet, like, I went back and watched all of the top 8s at CU, and I was like, what the hell?
Oh, I guess I meant all the ones that I cared about.
Oh, okay.
Fair enough.
Because I was like, do you do the thing where you watch them at like 1.5 speed or
Oh my
2
God.
speed, you know? Like, I was like, how did you watch that many so fast? But again, this is a tournament with, tons of events. And again, it's very important. This tournament is very important because it's always the precursor to EVO.
Yeah.
It's always the big one where everybody goes to before EVO to really see where they stand in a lot of things.
Yeah.
And so,
Evo's a little later this year, but still same thing, I think. People.
I mean, EVO's coming up in 3 weeks. Can you
Is it
believe
really?
that?
Oh, dang.
3 weeks.
Yeah, you're right.
It's crazy, dude. I can't.
Well, it would be this weekend in years past.
Right, it would have been happening this week, and we would
Yeah.
be doing our EVO preview show already. So, but let's go with the Street Fighter V Arcade Edition
All right.
results here. 7th places were Furson Verloren with Cammy, and Knuckle-Doo with Guile, and Cammy getting up to there. 5th place was PG Infiltration with Manat, and Jury and Chun-Li.
Yep.
And Ibuki being played by Cien
Correct.
in 5th place. Of course, he had just finished 2nd place at Combo Breaker. 4th place was FAV Sako with Manat. 3rd place, NVD Phenom with Nakali and Guile. 2nd, Kwamba Doyu Xiaohai Cammy with the comeback, although maybe it was him, maybe it wasn't him. He looked very different.
That's what people are saying.
Yeah, as soon as I saw him, I was like, he looks different.
You don't think it's just a little mustache, huh?
I
There's
don't know.
more
I
going
think
on.
there was more than that. I mean, he was tanned. There was something about his nose looked different,
Oh, yeah.
But first place, of course, was Fudo Fujimura with Ibuki.
Uh-huh.
And one,
Fujimura's the best.
yeah, shout outs to Xiaohai and Phenom. I felt like it was Canada Cup from 2016, like having them place a top 3 in there.
remember.
That was the one that Knuckle-Doo, that was the Knuckle-Doo Ascension tournament, right? So I think all 3 of them were top 3. But, it's good to see Phenom doing well in a major tournament like this, and then also Xiaohai, who, like I said, had disappeared for a little bit.
Yeah, that's
So,
true.
But,
And not just literally in terms of going to big fighting game tournaments, but even before that, when he was still attending, he just wasn't doing as well.
right.
Just wasn't doing as well.
And what's interesting about this, though, I mean, it really is starting to feel like this game is really starting to solidify its tiers. Now, I don't think that that's necessarily just the characters are stronger. I just think that a lot of people are just moving to those characters. But, I mean, if you look at the top 8, it's Ibuki, Cammy, Nakali, Manat, Ibuki, Cammy, Guile. And then just under there is Guile, Cammy, Mika, Colleen, Cammy, Rashid. So it really, it's starting
man.
to feel like the giant Cammy army at this point.
Yeah, it seems to be boiled down into one of about half a dozen characters, but I think you're right that that's not just that the game is imbalanced. I mean, as we said, when the game's patch came out for this season, I mean, it was clear, I felt, that they were making it less balanced.
Right.
But I didn't think it would be a lot less balanced, just a bit. I think it's as much that as it is people who realize that there are hundreds of thousands of dollars on the line,
Yep.
and that if you
Yep.
can give yourself even a little bit of an advantage, even if it's not a lot, you'd be a fool not to do it.
Right, exactly. So, honestly, like, I know Cammy is a problem right now, and this is something that I had talked about maybe for us talking about today, but like, how would you nerf Cammy? I just want to say, like, if I wanted to nerf Cammy, I would change Crouch and Strong to be 0 on block, so it's not +1, because all of her best buttons, combo buttons, are plus, right? So lower that one to 0. Maybe make Roundhouse plus on block, because every character seems to have... I went through
You mean
and
forward roundhouse or just roundhouse?
just regular Roundhouse. Because it's funny, because I actually went through every character, and every character has about 5+ on block moves.
Huh.
Like, it's almost, like, mostly equal for most characters, right? And it feels like Cammy has way more than everybody else. It's just because it's all her good buttons. So if you just made it Roundhouse, which doesn't even hit crouchers, then, whatever. But Crouching Strong, make it 0, and then make her V-trigger 1 3 bars. There's just no reason for that free trigger to be 2 bars.
That's a big one.
That is too good. It's too good at this point in time. She gets 3 supers practically around, and it's such a momentum changer on defense too.
Yeah.
Low strong and a V trigger, and all of a sudden you have to guess. You're right, and so just make that 3 bars, and we saw what that did to Laura. Right,
among other changes.
Yeah, among other changes, but that was a pretty significant one. So I think that would work. But
I think there's any number of things you could do. You know,
Yeah.
I don't think she needs a major nerf.
No. See, that's about the extent that I would
Yeah, I
go,
wouldn't want
and
more than that.
I think it would make her fair
Yeah.
at that point.
I think a little bit more
so.
pushback on some buttons would make sense,
Yeah,
but not in
yeah.
combination with other nerfs.
Right. Yes.
Anyway, they're
Okay.
not going to do it. They're going to buff
right.
her. For sure. Count it.
Yeah, pretty much. Dragon Ball Fighters. Oh, ooh, it's a painful one.
Yeah, well.
4 Americans in top 8, 4 Japanese in top 8. Well, 7th place was BC Apology Man with Piccolo, Tien, and Goku, and Echo Fox to Kill Sage. Gotenks, Grohan, and A16. And then 5th place was Echo Fox, Sonic Fox with Cell, Kid Buu, Gotenks, as well as Android 18 Cell, Kid Buu. And NRG, Hook Gang God, Cell, Piccolo, Vegeta. So 2 of them started in winner's bracket, 2 of them started in loser's bracket, but the Americans went 0-12
In games.
in games.
They won 0 games in top
They
8.
won 0 games in top 8 and ended up in the bottom 4. And
Correct.
so the top 4 were CAG Dogura in 4th with Kid Buu, Cell, and Goku. 3rd place CAG Fenrich with Cell, Bardock, Vegeta. Does anybody know why he says Fenridi when he writes it
Yeah,
down?
the transliteration of the thing that sounds like
Oh,
it's written
yeah,
as TI.
Okay. Fair enough.
I don't know why that is, though.
Yeah, 2nd place, CAG Goichi with
it's like
Cell,
in between.
Bardock, and Vegeta. And 1st place, Wash Your Neck, Kazunoko, GGP, Kid Buu, Grohan, and Yamcha. You remember that,
do remember,
right?
yeah.
So when there was the Japanese people who were complaining about Goichi, they were like, he's entering all the tournaments. He's making Dragon Ball no fun. I don't want to enter the tournament anymore. And
Yeah.
Goichi was like, maybe I should stop entering tournaments. And Kazunoko responded to him, was like, I'm coming for you, wash your neck, and which apparently is a Japanese euphemism for prepare to get your head chopped off and stuff
I
like
love it.
that. But Kazunoko, sure enough, came and did it. He did it, and the craziest thing, so I just watched this top 8.
Oh, okay.
I just watched the craziest thing about this top 8
Yeah.
was that Kazunoko won both sets, 3-1, 3-1
Right.
from loser's bracket. Those ones were the only matches won by a losing player in the entire top 8. It was 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 3-0, 2-0, 3-0, and then 3-1, 3-1.
Whoa, what a weird stat.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to make of that.
Those were the only 2 games won by a losing player, was Goichi winning those 2. But everything was a whatever
man.
0 match. It was crazy.
That's
so
wild.
I know it couldn't have run any faster.
It's crazy, right? Yeah, I know.
But I mean, it was nuts that it worked. That it turned out that way. It's crazy. So wash your neck. Watch your neck. Wash your neck.
Yeah, it was still a few hours long, but what are you going to do? That's how it is.
I don't know. So this was another topic that I thought about bringing up for the 50-50, a matchup. But
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think U.S. is done?
Oh man, that's like the previous big tournament was won by an American, and there's still
Actually,
it's still
probably
half,
previous 2.
I guess previous
right?
2 really.
Yeah.
Still half of top 8. I'm not that concerned.
Okay.
I mean, really. Yeah.
I
don't know.
Japan obviously studied, right?
For
Or
sure,
did
for
something.
sure.
Yeah.
But people this week are at Sonic Fox's house in the House of Power. Yeah, that's what he's calling it. For real. Where some of these players who are in this top 8, including others, traveled over to Sonic Fox's place.
Okay, that's good.
They're
Because
training up for the week.
honestly, I was thinking that one of my biggest concerns was that Japan would be.
Power. It's a good one. It's a good one.
I like it.
Yeah.
No, but I was concerned because, it's something Filipino Champ tweeted recently. He was like, it's so hard for U.S. to keep up with Japan because
Yeah.
you see their practice sessions.
Yeah.
They get together and they just play these gigantic long sets or short sets, and they're just practicing constantly. And the U.S. is so large that we're spread apart. And I was worried about that. But now that you're mentioning that they're all going to the House of Power, then I think
They're grinding up, man.
I think it'll work out well for them. So
Yeah.
okay. You know what? At first I had pause But now I feel a little more confident about the U.S. chances at EVO. So there you go.
All right. It'll be quite a tale. Tekken 7.
Tekken 7. 7th place was Bin Chang with Josie, Claudio, and Cosme. In 7th place, also Jimmy J. Tran with Brian.
Yeah.
5th place was Alpha Red Book with Jin and Equinox Dimeback with Asuka. 4th place, ITS, Lil Majin, oh yeah, with King, the highest placing U.S. player. 3rd place, Echo Fox JDCR with Dragunov. 2nd place, UIU Kudans with Devil Jin. And 1st place, UIU John Ding with Eddie. This is the first major TWT tournament that he has won this year. In fact, I'm not even sure if it's at all, but he has gotten so many second places, etc., etc., and so good stuff to him and his Eddie. Winning it on a spring kick
that was
at
crazy.
The very end of the last game, the last round. It was pretty nuts.
I gotta tell you, the Tekken Top 8 was one of my favorite Top 8s in recent memory. I thought it was an amazing, amazing Top 8. If you haven't watched it, even if you're not like a big Tekken head, highly, highly recommended. It's really good.
Yeah, I went back. This was one of the ones that I definitely went back and watched. And it's just, Tekken is just good stuff. And you know, kind of going with one of the 50-50 topics we will be talking about presentation-wise.
Yeah. Oh.
Tekken is just, it's just a whole different level now all of a sudden. And so it's like it's literally turned Tekken into a can't miss top 8.
Agreed.
You know, you got to go back and watch it. But again, look at all these, like 9th place, Joey Fury, Kokoma, Peeling, and Saint, all in 9th place. So Anakin in 13th place, Obscure, Shadow, 20Z, not 20 ounce like I always used to call him. Cody is there as well. So a lot of strong players there. Smash Brothers Wii U, 7th place, Abadongo with Mewtwo, and Phelan with, or Fallen with Rosalina and Luma. Sorry, that looked like an I to me. My vision is bad right now. I need to get glasses and stuff at this point. But C&D Raito with Duck Hunt and GRV DeBuzz with Rosalina and Luma, Sheik and Olimar. 4th place, Captain Zack with Bayonetta. Definitely milk the intros as much as possible.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one.
You can always
I feel
expect
like you can
that.
count on
Yeah, you can expect that. 3rd was Cosmos with Corin. 2nd place was Tweak with Cloud Bayonetta Donkey Kong. 1st place, Echo Fox MK Leo. Or MK Leo, I'm sorry, with Lucina, Bayonetta, Cloud, and Marth. And it really feels like with Zero's departure that MK Leo is really kind of the guy now. So
I think that's, I mean, I don't follow it that closely, but it seems like it. The only thing that I saw here was Grand Finals, where, go back up, Tweak counterpicked Bayonetta with Donkey Kong, and then, if I recall correctly, he lost and then picked Bayonetta, and then
it was a Bayonetta mirror.
Leo, and then Leo picked Marth to try to counterpick. It was like this weird revolving. I just don't follow the game closely enough to know whether that makes sense, but I thought that was fun to watch.
Okay. I did not go back and see this one. Super Turbo.
Yeah, he reset it with Donkey Kong.
Super Turbo, which I got to do the commentary for. Hey. This was actually a pretty crazy one.
This was a sick top 8 too.
I didn't know about this while I was commentating it, and I feel really bad that I did not know this. But 2 of the players from Japan, Nakano Sagat, as well as Fusuke, sponsored by Zexus, right?
Yeah.
Were the 1993 and 1994 Capcom Street Fighter official tournament champions.
That's wild.
That's why they were having so much fun on the stage, I think, because they were probably like, dude, it's literally over 20 years later. And they're sitting here
25 years later than 93.
They're in Florida, and they're in this crazy boxing ring, and they have people cheering for them, and they're just having a blast. Like, they were popping off on each other and just having a ball. Like, that was crazy. I did not know that at the time. I feel so bad that I didn't get to mention that on commentary.
That would have been nice on commentary, but super cool story.
Yeah, 7th place was Josh C. from New York with Vega, and I apologize to Josh because when I was doing commentary, I was like, I don't know where he's from, and afterwards he was like, New York. It's like, you always forget. And I'm like, okay, sorry. 7th place, also Zexus of Fusuke with DJ and Ken. 5th place, Tomo, parentheses, not Ohira, with Ryu. And, dude, even Jabali thought it was the real Tomo when he signed up.
Real Tomo. Poor guy.
Yeah, I know, right?
His real name.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
He is the real Tomo.
Yeah.
5th place, also IFM Technical Monkey, Chun-Li, a.k.a. Chris Doyle. For 4th place, Zexus, Nakano, Sagat, Chun-Li. 3rd place, Afro Legends with DJ, who 3-0'd Damdai in the winner's side, and then Damdai came back and destroyed him. So, but second place was Damdai with Old Ryu. One final game, final round away from being the 25th and 30th anniversary champion for the official Capcom tournaments. And first place, Zexus Onuki with Chun-Li. Now, the match that him and Damdai had went down to the last game, last round. That was...
It was a blow-up in the first set when Damdai reset it. He won 4 straight games. And then it was close. Then they finally traded games. And, Onuki won it on the very last interaction where Damdai jumped back in the corner. And
did
Nuki
like
was
crouching
doing...
medium kick or something.
No, he was lightning legs.
But Damdai did crouching medium kick or something and got hit by the legs.
He did jump roundhouse to try to hit it because Older has a really good jump roundhouse. But lightning legs hit him. And it did more damage than it usually does. Random damage.
So much damage.
It did a ton of damage. So.
But I mean, and that was Nuki with like 2 pixels left of life. You know,
very close to death.
It was the most ridiculous thing. So, but it was good stuff. And
really
of course,
games.
that was the official Capcom 30th anniversary tournament. Such as Canada Cup is going to have Third Strike, and SoCal Regionals is going to have Alpha 3 as the official $7,000 prize pool on the line. So Nuki may have won the highest prize pool for a Super Turbo tournament maybe in history. I don't know. I can't feel like that there was anything higher than that. So, okay. Killer Instinct top 8. SYN Aphex with Rash. Oh, cool. TBS Sickle with Kim Woo and Glacius. I need to go back and watch this because I haven't gotten a chance to see this, and I've heard nothing but good things about the Killer Instinct top 8. 5th place was BCTLK Fire Liga in his 3rd, 4th last KI tournament ever with Riptor and UA Base with Spinal and Shadow Jago. 4th place, Circa Nikki with Fulgore and Mira. 3rd place, NWO Z-Train over 9,000. Maya, Shadow Jago. 2nd place, Latalis Venator with Aganos and General Ram. And 1st place, MNT Thompson with Jago. So yeah, good stuff here. And I say that every time I do a commentary for Super Turbo, which is the comeback mechanic in Super Turbo is Super Turbo.
So that was, I think, the best top 8 of the weekend. As much as I liked Tekken, I thought that was super, super awesome. That guy, Z-Train, is an online player who, even Keats didn't know until it started.
That's sick.
And a couple of other people had they played him online, so they knew he was good, but they were really impressed that he got as far as he did. It was also really cool to see Latalis do so well to get 2nd place with characters that are typically undervalued, like Rom and Aganos. That was super fun. It's such a varied and fast game. It was a blast to watch. Highly recommended.
Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I actually saw the last half of this one live because I had just finished commentary and they were just doing that, so I walked over there. 7th place at 9-1 I Heart Justice with Soul, Cap, and Winter Soldier. Justice team. 7th place Asian Demon with Power Ultron Thanos. 5th place EG NY Chris G with Space Morgan Monster Hunter. And SOKP Ninja Nam with Time, Doctor Strange, and Nova. I love, look at this. In the 4 that we just named, 4 different gems. Which is really cool, right? The only one we haven't mentioned is Reality, and that was used later on, just a little bit, by the person who got 1st place. 4th place, Unknown Soul, Zero Dante. 3rd place, unfortunately, with the, I don't want to call it the curse, because I think the more it's called that, the more he's going to believe it. But he got into winners finals and lost 2 straight. He's done that 4 tournaments in a row now. Noel B. Hungry with Space Raccoon and Gamora. 2nd place, TLT Tyson with Space Gamora Ultron, who was the the home state hero there. Everyone was cheering for him. But 1st place, feels like almost out of nowhere, Knives, from UMBC3 Spencer days with Space or Reality Dormammu and Sigma. And he did it coming back from down 2-0 in both sets almost. He had to come from loser's bracket and take it basically, and he was down.
3-2,
I know in the 2nd set he was 100% down 0-2, and then he won 3 in a row, and he was able to take that. And no, that was really, really hype. It was really exciting. It would have been, honestly, I'm kind of sad Tyson didn't win because I would have loved to have seen the audience explosion and everything like that. But when Knives won, it definitely kind of deflated the audience a little bit. But it was really cool, great stuff to watch. And I mean, for me, I love watching this game to death.
Super
right?
good game.
And so if you haven't seen the top 8, definitely take a chance to watch the top 8. And, Knives, I mean, like, he played phenomenally. And having talked to him about this game a lot, he loves
He
this
does
game.
love it. Yeah, he plays it a lot.
legit-
He's done well in previous tournaments,
Yeah.
but this is the first big major like this that he's won.
Yeah.
It's really cool too for Unknown to get 4th because he hadn't been having that much success. I think there's a period of time when he wasn't playing like that, but he is again, and he did really well. So that's really good to see.
Okay.
But yeah, as you said, there's really good variety.
Yeah,
It's really fun to watch.
The game is really fleshing out.
There's so many different characters and gems
now.
you can use.
Yeah, and I even just retweeted a 9,000K like kill combo.
I saw it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it does use the poison tip,
Yeah.
which obviously helps a lot.
I thought that was really
right?
smart.
But the thing about it is, I've seen other combos get to like 8,000, 9,000
Yeah.
damage without Hawkeye. And when the game first came out, my biggest concern about it was that everything just led to the same amount of damage, and there was something about it that didn't feel good. And yet somehow people are finding ways to get around the hit stun deterioration. Just never doubt the ingenuity of these players, man. They will come up with something every time.
All right.
Under Night in Birth, EXE latest, 7th place, PAD, that guy with Byakuya, and Scrot Vermilion with Akatsuki. 5th place, School Bus with Wagner, and SUCC, Ayo, it's Dave with Merkava. 4th place, you can't not do it that way. 4th place, J3 with Linne and Phonon. 3rd place, BXA, Argon Ross with Waldstein. 2nd place, Guillotine Gorilla with Gordeau. 1st place, Klim, winning the 2nd tournament in a row of over 150 entrants, I believe.
Dang.
He won Combo Breaker, and now he won CEO.
I saw you all in the chat. I know you're in there. Congrats.
Oh, Klim's in the chat?
I saw him earlier.
Oh, nice. Okay. But he played super well. This is when I went back and watched. I watched the top 8. He got beat up in the he got beat up by Argon Ross in winner's side. Then he came back and blew him up. And
Okay,
so yeah,
nice.
shout outs to Klim with the adjustment, doing it with Merkava and Phonon. And again, just great character variety. Merkava, Phonon, Gordeau, Waldstein, Linne, Phonon, Wagner, Merkava, Byakuya, and Akatsuki. So only Merkava and Phonon were the repeat characters. So
Seems
really
pretty good.
balanced game. So you're right. It was 120. It was 120 players at CEO. There was 160 some at Combo Breaker.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
That's really good.
Yeah,
Nice work. Dang.
Awesome stuff there. So,
CVS 2.
CVS 2.
You don't need to say all the teams.
4th place. Okay, fine. 7th place. RSC Cakes. That's Andres, right? So yeah.
I think so,
7th place. Chris Redfield. 5th place. KNR in the Weeds, as well as CTUIR. You motherfucker. 4th place.
Pat Van Pelt.
Yeah. And 4th place, another Pat, but this is Pat the Flip.
Yeah.
3rd place, Rugal B. 2nd place, Sonic O. And 1st place, Boss. I mean, I was there
obviously.
live watching this, and Boss just blew everyone
Yeah,
up.
you know, what are you gonna do?
It just wasn't, yeah, exactly.
Pat Van Pelt.
Yes, and that's true. Silent Scope did get 9th place, so good job to him.
true.
3rd Strike, let's
Oh
just
wow,
do...
Pat the Flip is the only player to take a game from Boss. Good to know.
Oh, look at that.
Shout outs to the guy.
Okay. 4th place was Cookie with Elena. 3rd place was Gutex with Urian. 3rd place, EGNY Chris G with Yang, Ibuki, Chun-Li, Ken, and Sean. And 1st place was Zexus Nuki with Chun-Li. So one of 2 players to walk home with 2 belts that weekend.
That's right.
So, yeah. Japan stealing all
Those
of
are the
our
old
belts.
folk games.
Super Smash Bros. Melee, 7th place was LLOD or LOD with Peach. ALG None with Captain Falcon. 5th place CLG SFAT with Fox and PG Zane with Marth. 4th place Wizrobe with Captain Falcon. 3rd place Echo Fox MVG Mewtwo King with Mark Sheik Fox Jigglypuff. 2nd place PG Plup with Sheik and Fox. And 1st place for 3 years in a row at CEO now, Liquid Hungry Box with Jigglypuff.
You know, previous CEOs, the Melee was cordoned off into its own room.
Yeah.
So I don't think I ever watched a Melee top 8 at CEO until this year. But I did this time because we were waiting for Killer Instinct. And so I saw the top 2 or 3.
Okay.
And it was hilarious to me. Because I was cheering for Hungry Box because he's my favorite player in Melee.
Yeah.
Right? I like that
Me
lame
too,
stuff.
me too. Yeah,
It's awesome. Not many people in the crowd were.
Nobody
Okay?
cheers for that guy.
Well, I
dude.
mean, there were some because it's Florida, so
Oh,
like
okay,
there
okay,
was a
yeah,
little bit
yeah,
of like
yeah,
home
okay,
state,
okay.
you know, territory in there. But for sure, most people were not into it. So.
But wasn't it
Like
Plup-
whenever Plup did something sick, the crowd would be like, "Yeah!" But
But Plup, I mean, he had to like get back on stage with Zelda, and didn't he like win a game with
he
Zelda?
did. In fact,
Yeah.
I believe he reset
Yeah,
the
he
bracket
reset a bracket with
on
it.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
uh-huh.
actually really sick.
I would have loved to have
was
seen
super
that.
sick,
so.
yeah.
Oh, Plup is also Florida.
Oh, that I didn't know. Okay. So that actually
the
makes more
Florida
sense
crowd
then.
was more cheering for
Yeah,
Plup.
that makes
than-
sense.
Okay. Oh man, yeah, he plays lame, and also people just don't like Jigglypuff's play style. They want to see Fox jump around and shield and up smash everybody and
Give me
be
those
really
footsies, please.
generic and being really
Generic is a
overpowered.
good way to put it.
Injustice 2, 7th place, Nasser Tekken Master with Starfire and BC Honeybee with the Flash. 5th place, Echo Fox Sonic Fox with Red Hood Michelangelo. Oh, so we got 5th place in both tournaments then. Okay. Forever
Or
King
his
with
worst
Batman.
weekend in his whole FGC career.
I know.
That actually might be true.
Yeah, I think you're
That
right.
really might
I
be
think
true,
You're
by the way.
right.
Yeah.
He may have had the worst.
The worst weekend of his FGC career.
Man, how it's washed up now.
Yeah.
Sonic Fox's career is over. No. 4th place, F3 DR Gross with Black Adam and Aquaman. 3rd place, BC Biohazard with Bane, Starfire, and Black Manta. Mostly Bane, right?
Mostly Bane.
Mostly Bane. 2nd place, Noble Tweety. So 1st place in Combo Breaker, 2nd place here at
Yeah.
CEO with Starfire. But 1st place, Noble Samij, Catwoman. I know a lot of people don't like Catwoman, but that's my character,
Yeah.
so I'm going to be happy for Samij.
No, he played very well. He played very, very well.
And
What-
it's like one of the first times he's won a tournament, right?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while for sure. Well, there haven't been that many events on the IPS, really.
Right,
but no,
right.
yeah, it's true.
But
has
didn't
won
he
pretty
also
well.
beat Sonic Fox? Didn't Sonic Fox like try to use Captain Cold on him, but he still won? Or
Yeah,
something
that sounds
like
right.
Or was that somewhere else?
No, that was true. In fact, Sonic Fox. No, that was here. Sonic Fox tried Catwoman on Samij. He tried the mirror
mirror?
match,
Oh,
and that
geez,
didn't work.
okay.
So he tried Captain Cold, and that didn't work. So he tried Red Hood, and that didn't work.
Dang. Okay. Good
Yeah,
job to
he
Samij.
definitely did beat him. What's interesting too is that this is the top winner side top 8 was the same in Combo Breaker and CEO with one person exception.
Really?
Tweety, Biohazard, and Gross were all winners side top 8 in both majors so far.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
so
who,
it's
who
really
instead
cool.
of Samij was in there then?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't
Okay,
remember offhand,
okay.
to be honest.
Dang.
But
okay,
yeah,
okay.
I think that is super interesting because there's grumblings about the game right now being boring and whatever,
Right,
but it's very and also being random. That people want it both ways, right? So much zoning at the same time. Flash can kill you in 2 combos, whatever. So, but I think it's really cool to see that there is as much consistency, in fact, as there is.
Yeah. Guilty
Really
Gear,
good top 8, by the way.
Guilty Gear Exert Rev 2. Did not get to see this one, but No Kami got 7th with Zato 1 and Mr. K with Leo Whitefang. 5th place Mystic with Baiken. 5th place Hotashi with Elfelt. Little bit of a controversy there, unfortunately for Hotashi.
Oh,
He
that's
played
right.
Kazunoko early in the top 8, beat him, and then they found out they were playing on the wrong version, so they had to swap consoles, replay the match, and Kazunoko won the run back. Hitachi obviously not very happy and ended up losing 2 in a row that as a result.
Yeah.
4th place UIU Kizzy K with Sin Kisk, and 3rd place Bjorn Son of Bear with Chips Enough. 2nd place Kid Viper Johnny. But 1st place, wash your neck! No, I'm just kidding. GGP Kazunoko with Raven with 2 belts that weekend.
2 belts.
2 belt this weekend. So, King of Fighters 14. Look, it was won by Kwambadoyu Shanghai.
Shanghai.
Yeah, so there you go. So,
All right. Yeah, really good tournament overall.
dude, there
Had
were
a
so
blast.
many side tournaments as well.
There
Dude,
were.
I walked into Jabali Land. They had a stage set up there for people to stream the side tournaments
That's right.
on. They just had a whole stage there. It was like the cage stage over there. And like I walked in and they were playing Def Jam New York or something
What?
like that. Yeah, that was their tournament
Wow,
at the time.
okay.
We also went in there and watched some Blaze Blue Cross Tag battle.
Indeed.
And which like I got because Blake was a character I was looking at,
Yeah.
and then I saw Kid Viper and I was like, okay, this character's kind of sick, so I definitely decided to stick with Blake now.
I actually don't know who won that because we had to leave before it ended.
Yeah.
So we watched most of the top 8, and then things were starting to close down, so we had to get going. But what we saw was really good.
Oh yeah.
Fame won it? Okay.
Fame won it. Okay, there you go. cool. I was about to ask Curly W if you knew, but don't need to do that then. Okay.
Really good top 8. Yeah, man. Enjoyed it a lot. Lots of great stuff. We went specifically to go out to get breakfast food. We looked up what the best rated place was in Daytona. True story. And we went there, and I got to tell you, Adam's Eggs is not cutting it. Not cutting it.
Gotta tell Keats, man. He's got to work on those eggs.
Come on, buddy.
Man.
Work on your eggs. Also, there's a sign.
Oh, that's right, Curly. Well, you left with us, but you are also one of the TOs, so you might have the results anyway, Curly.
This is a side event, though, so I'm not sure. Okay. You know what else? There's a sign. There's a big sign, a big arch as you come into Daytona that says, "The most famous beach in the world."
How did it get there?
Yeah. Wow. Did Carmen Sandiego transplant?
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. Venice Beach. Like what happened?
Yeah, seriously, dude.
The French Riviera transplanted.
BG Callisto was absolutely right. The food there was not great. In fact, the whole weekend that we were there, the best thing that I ate probably was Jabali's fried chicken, as well as the Dippin' Dots. But Dippin' Dots is like, you're not gonna go wrong with Dippin' Dots. It's Dippin' Dots,
it's machine made, right?
And it's sad that outside of Jabali's fried chicken, the best thing that I ate probably was the corn dog at the concession stand.
Dang.
Honestly, everything else we ate that whole weekend was just
nothing good.
Not great.
But the falafel that Ski Sonic and I went to go get, I gotta tell you, that was just before we did top 8 commentary for Street Fighter, and I was a little worried that I was gonna have to step off because that falafel was not the right choice.
Oh man, okay.
It was one of those places that sells falafel and pizza and hot dogs and Chinese food. You know what I mean? Whatever. Not a great call.
Okay. But I mean, I will say this: that Jabali fried chicken was actually way more legit than it had any right to be.
Okay.
So when I ate it, it wasn't any chicken that was gonna be oh my god, this is the most amazing thing. But for being convention food, at this convention center, it wasn't too bad. I enjoyed the chicken. So
I think I had 4 big pretzels, maybe 5 big pretzels that weekend, because I just wasn't that much to eat. So.
Dude, I had one because you had gotten so many, so I was like, these gotta be at least decent.
No, they were not. It was just a matter of necessity.
Ooh, man.
Also, I think it was Silent Scope posting there that he was sitting next to somebody during Street Fighter 3 Top 8 who didn't know that Gootecks played Third Strike. Is that you who just posted? Somebody posted it in the chat earlier.
Dang! I mean, that's the people who don't realize that Combo Fiend was one of the greatest fighting game players of all time.
Oh, for sure. If you don't know that Gootecks played Third, then you definitely don't know that either.
Yeah, exactly. No, honestly, and shout out to Echo CD. I did meet him.
What up, buddy?
I met him over there at CEO, but JFC was actually legit. JFC. I mean, the logo, everything was. I mean,
it was very funny.
Jabali's. He's a marketing genius. Okay,
he does market well.
He does market very well. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Enough about this. We've gone on for an entire hour talking about Capcom. I mean, what is it?
CEO.
Community Effort Orlando in Daytona.
Well, do you want to take a break, or do you want to just jump right into Viennality and stuff like that? Or
let's just jump in, I guess, and
sure.
sort of nail it. And yeah, look, I'm not that upset.
I have to do the pose of that.
HD, what are you doing here?
There's that one meme pose where the guy's doing this here, and I'm doing that because you're wearing the Viennality
open alligator,
shirt.
which is
the
greater
Viennality shirt. No, you're just hey, presenting because you're wearing the Viennality shirt.
I sure am. I went there.
Viennality, that's right.
Yeah, if you don't know who some old heads are, it's fine. That was 10 years ago. It's no big deal at this stage of the game. Last time Ryan was legit in Third Strike was 10 years ago.
10 years ago, but obviously still has the muscle memory for that game. I mean,
he's still playing. I was talking with him. He's playing 30th anniversary.
Oh, nice. Okay, okay. There you go.
Anyway, let's talk about Viennality. So it's in Vienna, in Austria, and I had never been there, so I was super, super happy to be invited to go out there. Look.
No. I'm laughing
cool
at
to go to
else.
a tournament, but
I'm laughing at something completely different. The first thing that
my clear priorities of just
every time I hear the word Austria, I think of Indiana Jones. Is this is how Austrians say goodbye, and gives them the beginning. This is how Germans say goodbye. I like the Austrian way better.
What a reference. Man. Anyway, it was
one of my favorite movies of all time. Dude.
So really good tournament. They had players there from. The UK, Ireland, Bulgaria. Nice. By the way, shout outs to the person who I definitely ripped on like 6 months ago. Do you remember this? Where I was trying to think of a place that didn't have any fighting game tournaments, and I mentioned Bulgaria, and then somebody on Twitter got back to me in DMs and was like, actually, we have a scene. And then lo and behold, I met a dude from Sofia, Bulgaria at this event. So, all right, good job, Pats David.
Nice job. Nice
Players
job.
from Greece and from France and Germany and all over.
Chiragon brings up a good point about Wolfkrone's little thing there. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Oh.
Do you remember what happened with
I
that?
definitely do remember that.
Yeah, so there was the pools. He was playing in pools in Dragon Ball, I believe it was, right? And there were some casual stations nearby. He asks a player that he's going to play next in the pools if he wants to play some casuals. They sit down and play some casuals. Then apparently Wolfkrone goes up and reports it as his victory.
Yeah, after he had won, yeah.
After he had lost a few matches.
Right.
And then that player switched to his secondary team,
That's
and
what I
then
heard.
Wolfkrone beat him. And then Wolfkrone reported that as a win.
Yeah.
And then they played the brackets all the way through. That guy had no idea that had happened, because I don't think he knew that he was
He
supposed to
didn't
play
realize it until
Wolfkrone
later on, yeah.
It was only his dad who
Yeah.
asked and was like, why is he in loser's bracket kind
But
of
like
thing.
at that point,
The
they were
bracket.
both pretty far beyond the spot in the bracket where they could really redo it. So it was kind of stuck. Yeah, that's super shady. You know, there's nothing positive to be said about that. I'm not aware of him having done this previously. If so, that's a giant problem as well.
Right.
But just for having it be one time is a big issue.
Yeah, there
Big,
was
big issue.
reports that he did it again. Those were false.
False.
Those were false, but he definitely did it once. And God, at that
Super
point in
scummy.
time, I mean, I know other players have gotten bans from tournaments. It happened at Canada Cup recently. This feels kind of ban-worthy in a way.
I would not at all be surprised if they banned him. Yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
So it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing, and it's not like I don't think there was any point in time where Wolfkrone afterwards came up and was like, "Oh shoot, I'm sorry, I didn't realize." Blah blah
Not
blah.
that I've heard, but
Because then he got knocked in the losers bracket and just DQ'd himself afterwards
Right.
because he was like, "Oh, I'm not taking this seriously anyway," and then
Yeah.
that was it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's that's really bad. I haven't talked to them about it. You know, I don't want to be too authoritative about it, but from all the things that I've heard, that sounds like something that you would be justified in banning for.
Right, and again, this is, maybe somebody else who was one of the TOs can talk about this from a more official standpoint. These are all stories that we've heard,
Yeah.
but nobody has come to the contrary of it
For
yet.
sure.
Usually, even if something is under question, there's always people like, that's not what happened, this is what happened.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, I talked with the same fact. We were there when this conversation was occurring, where the bracket runner did confirm that stuff occurred.
Okay.
Like I said, I haven't talked with Wolfkrone about it as to, like, did he think it was legit? Like,
Right,
I don't, that seems unlikely, but I don't know. I hesitate to, like, blow him up too hard without knowing that for
maybe he
sure.
said something
so.
like, let's play for real now, and then they kept going,
Yeah.
and, like, who knows?
I don't know. In any case, it's super scummy.